Emma Vigeland, who will be joining us for our live coverage of the New Hampshire debates, did go, she's been in New Hampshire and she went to a Pete Buttigieg town hall in Plymouth, New Hampshire. And she has multiple videos from that, which you should see at Rebel HQ on YouTube and Facebook. She says that while other candidates have steered clear in her experience of mentioning other candidates by name, Pete Buttigieg in the lead up to the New Hampshire voting has actually mentioned Bernie Sanders by name, and here's a little clip that Emma got.
When you look at Senator Sanders' math, $25 trillion worth of revenue, a lot of it coming from areas that we could agree on. I think we all agree that the wealthy and corporations need to pay their fair share. I have a harder time agreeing with the idea of raising taxes on the middle class. He's proposed income over $29,000 being taxed to pay for health care plans. But on that, at least let's give credit where credit is due because he's being honest about it.
Well, there you go. That's his attack, direct attack on Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, so I'm glad we had a camera there and we covered it and was doing a great job. But I don't know if this will be surprising to you guys, but I don't begrudge Buttigieg that. The primaries are about marking the difference between you and your opponent. Now, I don't know about the $29,000 number. I've never seen that before. That
I never have.
Yeah, I've never seen Bernie say that people are going to get taxed above $29,000. But I don't mind a quote unquote attack. I don't mind the policy differences. But that's why Bernie Sanders support him, because they think that he has a better policy, not because he has better hair or anything along those lines. Everybody gets to make their case, not just your guy. So Buttigieg is making his own case. I don't think the case of being a moderate is going to be that successful. I've been saying that all along. So far, so right. But give it a shot. See how it goes for you.
Yep, there's another, and this is just a little taste of what Emma's put up on youtube.com/rebelhq or facebook.com/rebelhq. She got a chance to talk to some of the people in attendance, and she said a lot of them were undecided, but she did talk to one man about why he doesn't like Bernie Sanders. Take a look at that.
I support Pete. My biggest issue with Bernie is not so much Bernie, but Bernie's supporters as being rigid. And from what we saw in the 2016 election, when he didn't get the nomination, his supporters then turned and then either didn't vote or they voted for Trump.
Statistically, more Hillary Clinton supporters from 2008 voted for McCain than Bernie supporters did for Trump. Does that change your view at all?
No.
So like what struck me about that is to say that Bernie supporters are rigid and implying that they will not budge no matter what kind of evidence you throw at them.
Yeah.
She very like that's what's great about Emma's videos is she's just like, here's a fact. What do you think of it? Not
calm.
I mean, a lot of people criticize those who have endorsed Bernie Sanders for being so aggressive, but like she just says, here's a fact. And his response is a very flat, rigid, one would say, no.
Yeah. So look, I watched all the videos. I actually thought that the Buttigieg supporters were perfectly pleasant people. And some of them are just more moderate. Again, I don't begrudge it at all. And even that guy, so he happens to be wrong, and then when he presented with a fact, and by the way, the full fact is that twice as many Hillary Clinton supporters did not vote for Obama as Bernie Sanders supporters not voting for Hillary Clinton. In fact, a lot of the Bernie supporters were actually already independents or Republicans that had switched to vote for Bernie in the primaries and went back to the Republican Party. He could have brought those people in if he was a candidate. Whereas Hillary supporters are almost all Democrats and voted for McCain. Okay, so those are the facts, and you can look it up. The Washington Post has written about it, and so that's the reality. But even that guy I don't begrudge that much. You know why? Because he doesn't watch TYT. No, I'm serious. And he didn't happen to catch out one article in the Washington Post. So if you watch cable news, how the hell would you know what the reality is? So on cable news, they've said it a million times that Bernie Sanders supporters betrayed Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders did likewise. When in fact he did 39 rallies for her. In fact, he cut the number of people who normally don't vote for the nominee in half, right? He did all those things, but how would that guy know? How would that poor guy know? So by the way, tell everybody watch TYT because you get the real facts. But if you watch cable news, you'll get alternative facts. Today on MSNBC, an anchor said that Bernie Sanders has no support with minorities. In fact, he's the #1 candidate in America with support for minorities. It's the exact opposite of what's true. So if that guy or any other Buttigieg supporter heard that, they'd be like, well, I don't like that Bernie doesn't have any support with minorities. Even though it's the exact opposite of what's true.
Yeah, so how do you get through to them?
Spread all of our videos at tyt.com/join us. But seriously guys, you should do that, seriously. But look, that's what's wrong with mainstream media. And when we point that out, they get very, very hurt. Well, who's right and who's wrong? Facts matter. So Trump does alternative facts from the right, and mainstream media does alternative facts on behalf of the establishment. And so they told you for a year straight Joe Biden was the most electable. He finished 4th in Iowa, and now he's about to finish 5th in New Hampshire. Facts matter. And what I've discovered in the last several months, and shame on me for not realizing it earlier, even though we talk about it all the time. And even though we've talked about manufacturing consent, we've had Noam Chomsky on the show several times. But still, there was that urge to believe that they were honest and did it with good intent. They were just in a group think in the bubble, etc. No, I mean, today another segment on MSNBC that John and I covered earlier, where they said, well, there is a nightmare scenario where the convention goes really poorly, where Bernie Sanders goes in with the most amount of delegates and the plurality of the vote, and his supporters are gonna go nuts. Wait, why would they go nuts? Then he'd be the nominee, right? No. Everyone on the panel assumed we would obviously not allow him to be the nominee.
Yeah.
It's amazing, it's amazing.
Because it's not only that the Buttigieg or whoever supporters who watch mainstream media want the media to be right. The media themselves want to be right.
Yeah.
They want to be right, and they're applying the exact things I remember learning when I was in college. Like everything that they're spitting is the same stuff I learned 15 years ago. And it's just not true anymore. It can't be.
And so I'll give you one other sense. So that's errors of commission there, but there are also errors of omission. So somebody asked me just this past weekend, well, all my friends are asking me, they heard on television, well, that Buttigieg has a better proposal than Medicare for all because it's Medicare for those who want it, so you have more choice. Because that's what they heard on TV, but that's not true. Medicare for those who want it does not get you universal health care. You still have to pay co-pays, premiums, and deductibles. And your rates still go up every single year. It's a completely different system. He just stole the word Medicare from Medicare for all and then switched it to for those who want it to make it seem like you have a wonderful choice. And that's not true at all. But you would never know that if you watch television or read the New York Times or read the Washington Post or listen to NPR.
Yeah. Well, and one of the ways that could have been changed, not even like expecting cable hosts to change, but like how many debates have we had where the first 40 minutes was about healthcare proposals and critiquing Medicare for all? How are you gonna get past the fact that it costs too much, it can never work? Well, that's fine if you wanna criticize it, and they've gone back and forth. We're never gonna learn anything new from Bernie and Biden yelling at each other over that. But how about this? Take one of the other proposals, like Medicare for all who want it, and say, okay, how are you gonna get past the fact that that's still gonna leave many people with either not having health insurance or not having enough, still not being able to afford it, and the entire system is gonna be less financially sound because you're not gonna have everybody contributing to the same thing. So let's talk about that for 30 minutes. It's an obvious flaw of the proposal, but we don't talk about it. We focus on taking down one.
So look, there's just no other way, but it doesn't have to be this show. Of course, we prefer that it's this show. And by the way, we can't exist without our members, tyt.com/join, or if you just want to support us, if you hear something you like, tyt.com/yes, all of that matters a lot. But if there's another progressive show you like, or a progressive media outlet that you like that's print articles, whatever it might be, support them. There is no other way to get the message out. TV is never gonna go, oh shucks, you guys were right. We voluntarily give up the billions in profits that we make off this corrupt system that we have today. That is not how capitalism works. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.